First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT-22 News at 5:30.
A little less than 2 hours ago, Pope Francis arrived in the U.S. for his first visit. He'll make appearances, deliver speeches, and celebrate Mass in Washington, New York City, and Philadelphia during his 6-day trip. His speech to a joint session of Congress will be the first ever for a pope. Francis will also speak at the United Nations later this week.
Even though Pope Francis isn't going to be anywhere near South Bend during his visit, a lot of Catholics here are still very excited about this. WSBT-22's Patrick Roth joins us now. And Patrick, a visit like this doesn't happen very often.
That's right, Jennifer. There have only been 4 popes to ever come to the United States, and it's been almost 8 years since the last time a pope was here. Now, a visit like this is always a big deal to Catholics. Something about this pope in particular that makes it even more special. Even though Pope Francis touched down more than 600 miles away just a short time ago, and there's one word that describes how Catholics here feel.
Personally, I'm excited. I also think it's always exciting when your leader or your father come to visit. So I think it's important for our church in the United States to have our father coming to visit us here as well.
I'm just excited by having the Pope here. I think it does. I feel like the atmosphere lifts a little bit. I feel like, as contentious as our culture is, I think that he presents at least a glimpse of an opportunity for some kind of unity.
There have been papal visits to the U.S. in the past. Paige O'Brien saw Pope Benedict XVI in 2008, but she says there's something different about this visit.
With Benedict, a lot of his teachings were so philosophical, and so with that, it was, these are the teachings, this is what the church says, but Pope Francis puts that into action.
One thing about Pope Francis is he communicates by gesture and he communicates by style. And there's something to be said for that.
And it's with that style that Pope Francis has been able to generate such excitement among Catholics here, even though he might be hundreds of miles away.
That the leader of this church, the leader of my church, is looking at me and saying, but I care enough about your story as an American church to be here.
Now, this is going to be a busy week for Pope Francis. He'll be in Washington for the next 2 days, and he'll address a joint session of Congress, and he'll be the first pope to ever do that. And from there, he'll be going to New York and Philadelphia, where he'll be celebrating Mass in front of an expected crowd of more than 1.5 million people.
That's quite a big crowd. You know, there's been so much talk, so much excitement, and a lot of coverage. I think it's fair to say the excitement is not just for Catholics.
That's right, Jennifer. And that's actually been a big part of this pope's message. He's put a lot of emphasis on the church looking outward and engaging more people within and outside of this church. So like you said, this visit is not just for Catholics.
Very historic.
Very